I'd like to call to order the August 13th, 2025 regular school committee meeting. Welcome, everyone. And if you could rise with me to join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we definitely know that they're getting ready for school. We can smell the linoleum or the gym floors upstairs. I'll start with our announcement. The regular school committee meeting will be televised and recorded, may be viewed live on Comcast Channel 22 and Verizon Channel 34, on youtube.com/Tewksbury TV. Under the open meeting law, the public is permitted to make an audio or video recording of an open session at a public meeting. At this time, I'd ask if anybody is recording tonight's meeting, please identify themselves. And seeing nobody, tonight we do not have any recognitions or a student representative report in the summer. Also, we don't have any presentations, so that brings us along for Citizens Forum. We do have somebody here with us in the audience. Here for Citizens Forum. Okay. And that brings us to the approval of minutes. Our clerk is not with us here tonight, so I'll ask you, Mrs. Biagioni Smith, would you like to?
I'd like to move the committee for approval of the July 9th, 2025 regular business meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Biagioni Smith, a second by Mr. Moncada. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that motion passes unanimously 4.
All right, moving on.
Yep.
I'd like to move the committee for submission and approval of the payroll period ending July 16th, 2025, a split payroll period for $34,214.95.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion by Mrs. Biagioni Smith, seconded by Mrs. Anderson, to approve and certify the payroll period ending in July 16, 2025, a split payroll period for $34,214.95. Roll call vote. How do you vote, Mr. Moncada?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. Biagioni Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well for unanimous vote.
Okay. I'd like to move the committee for submission and approval of the payroll period ending July 17th, 2025, another split payroll for $1,409,868.21.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion by Mrs. Biagioni Smith, a second by Mrs. Anderson, to approve and certify the payroll period ending July 17th, 2025, also a split payroll in $1,409,868.21. Roll call vote. How do you vote, Mr. Moncada?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. Biagioni Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well for unanimous vote.
And finally, I'd like to move for submission and approval of the payroll period ending July 31st, 2025, in the amount of $1,494,930.33.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion by Mrs. Biagioni Smith, a second by Mrs. Anderson, to approve and certify payroll period ending July 31st, 2025, for a total amount of $1,494,930.33. Mr. Moncada, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. Biagioni Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Again, unanimous vote. Okay, that will bring us to the superintendent and staff reports. And I'll start now with our superintendent.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first item in my updates is a highlight of summer enrichment. You have a letter in your informational packet from the Tewksbury Police Department Chief Ryan Columbus thanking us for our support in helping to run the Junior Police Academy. The truth is, we're very thankful to the chief and his team for running this enrichment program again this summer. There were 2 weeks full of activities and trainings. Week 1 hosted 168 kids, and week 2 hosted 163 kiddos. Additionally, this year, they brought in 16 junior student counselors. Our students enjoyed this program immensely, and if you had a chance to stop by, you would have also seen the police officers and the SROs having as much fun as the kiddos attending. I also want to draw your attention in your packet to another wonderful opportunity being offered this year from Atamian Honda. They're offering our families or our students a free backpack giveaway this Sunday. They're giving away 800 backpacks as well as hosting other fun activities for families to engage in right before school starting. I want to recognize and thank our former Tewksbury Public Schools alumni, Rachel Von Kahl, for bringing this opportunity to our students and families. We shared the flyer already via email. We'll put it in the district newsletter as well by the end of the week. In your consent agenda, you'll see several hiring letters. This is the season where we replace, and fill positions where we need to replace staff. We do still have some open positions we expect and hope to fill by the start of the school year. First and foremost would be an additional Heathbrook kindergarten teacher. As you know, we really saw an uptick in unexpected enrollment in the last few weeks at the Heathbrook and decided to bring on another kindergarten class. So with that, we also have a posting with an associated Heathbrook kindergarten aide. Posting is also open now to fill a district-wide case manager position, special ed case manager position, and a payroll clerk. So interviews are currently being scheduled for these positions in the next couple of weeks, but overall, we're in good shape for the start of the school year. I do want to mention that Community Service Preschool is also seeking a part-time preschool teacher. And while we're in really good shape with day-to-day building subs and have acquired some long-term subs to fill in for FMLA leaves at the start of the year, we always are asking people to pay attention to our postings for those long-term sub pieces. They're a little bit harder to fill. With that, in your consent agenda is the pay rate for substitutes. You'll see that we have updated the substitute hourly prep rate to reflect those long-term substitute teaching needs. We have updated the hourly rate for preparation to reflect the 25-26 Tewksbury Teachers Association hourly rate. So with that, every year we do update that and seek your approval when you vote on the consent agenda. And with that, Madam Chair, that concludes my updates.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
No.
No? No? Okay. Thank you. All right, I have a little bit longer report today. First, I will start with topics that I will begin with the summer enrollment found under correspondence and information in your packets. First, our summer service learning enrichment programs. We had a total of 448 students, including in our enrichment programs, 120 in Alphabest, and that does not include our upcoming freshman orientation that will be next week. It's amazing to see the participation in summer programming. For special education extended school year, we had 185 students attend out of 250 students that were referred for ESY, representing a 74% attendance rate for eligible students. Students engaged in either a 4 or 5 week program tailored to individual student needs. The program served learners across all age groups, from our youngest preschool students through our LEAP initiative, which supports our students aged 18 to 22. Transportation services included both van and bus options that were provided, and we provided district-wide for all students requiring assistance. This year's program successfully maintained high-quality individual support for every participant. For the third consecutive year, we employed a substantial number of Tewksbury High School students whose involvement created an exceptional atmosphere of community connection and belonging for our students. We were also pleased to expand our programming by integrating music and gross motor skill development into numerous classroom curricula. The program's outstanding success reflects the dedicated, collaborative, and unwavering support from our district leadership, special education professionals, students' families, and our remarkable students themselves. For summer credit recovery, Wynn and Tewksbury Memorial High School students had the opportunity to restore credits lost during the school year by participating in a free 3-week program held from July 7th to July 25th, using Edgenuity computer software for their individual courses. The free program came as a result of the state funding. Students also were able to complete a service learning component, and licensed teachers were in each classroom working with the students, helping them with their coursework and monitoring their progress. We had 23 students participate, and they either received a pass or a fail for these courses. In order to pass or fail to receive credit, students need to complete the required hours of the course in person. Students attending for academic credit recovery had to complete 45 hours per course. Attendance credit recovery students had to attend based on a sliding scale in relation to their absences during the school year. Students also need to complete all of the coursework for their courses. Students need to have a passing grade of 60% or higher at the end of the course. Also, in addition to the coursework, breakfast and lunch was offered to students free of charge each day. Next, we also ran our Title I funded reading program. Our 2-week Title I reading intervention program served 26 students in grades K through 8, led by a dedicated team of 7 highly skilled teachers. Each teacher created targeted small group lessons tailored to individual student needs, focusing on reading fluency, comprehension, and foundational skills. Instruction was hands-on and interactive, using a variety of evidence-based strategies to keep students engaged and to encourage active participation. The teachers' expertise and adaptability allowed them to make real-time adjustments based on student progress, ensuring that instruction was both challenging and yet supportive. The energy, creativity, and commitment to student success were key factors to the positive outcomes. Finally, under correspondences in informational topics, Tewksbury Public Schools were again selected for NAEP testing. The NAEP 2026 administration will assess students between January 26th and March 20th of 2026. Our students to be assessed will be, bless you.
Thank you.
Grades 4, 8, and 12, both mathematics and reading, along with the grade 8 civics and U.S. history pilot test. State and national results will be released as part of the nation's report card, and data from the pilot test will inform future NAEP assessments. As I move away from our summer programming, it is now time to think about welcoming our new staff, our returning staff and students in 2 weeks. First, we have our new hire orientation program occurring next Wednesday and Thursday, August 20 and 21st. We are pleased to have 11 new staff members joining our district so far this summer. We want to thank our IT department, our curriculum coaches, Tewksbury Police Department, along with Karen Hodgkins, Kathy Henry, and Terry Garish, who will be coming back to help run and organize this program. Our 2 opening professional development days for staff will commence on August 25th and 26th. Final details will be sent out later this week to help prepare everyone for the upcoming school year. We are looking forward to a wonderful, collaborative, engaging 2 days with our amazing staff and our district leaders. And finally, as you look through your consent agenda, you will find we have an anonymous donation of an Omeo desktop CNC machine to the TMHS robotics team, valued at $3,279.97. You will also find a donation from Senator Barry Feingold of $150 to the Tewksbury Memorial High School Exchange Program. And that is all I have for updates at this time.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? No? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you actually for the invites as well over the summer to attend, credit recovery and things like that. So it's nice to get in during the summer to see some of the activities and programming. So thank you.
Madam Chair, it just dawned on me when you said the word invite. For our induction and mentoring program kickoff those 2 days, you will also be receiving, and I apologize if you haven't received it already, Ms. Callahan, if we can make sure that the committee receives the invite to our administrative lunch that we have on.
Thursday, the 21st, I believe it's at 12.
And you can personally meet all of the
New hires.
Teacher hires. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lunch starts at 11:30, pardon me.
Thank you.
And it's here.
Yes, see us up library, same location we were this afternoon.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Libby.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Briefly, quick end of summer typical action we have here in our business office. Quick transportation update. Our bus routes will be hitting our website on or before August 22nd. We're working with the bus company now, finalizing some, pairing up of the routes and bus numbering, and the drivers are choosing their routes, doing their procedure to get that taken care of on their end early next week, and then we'll be publishing those routes for our families at the end of next week. Our students who use van transportation, both in and out of district, should be hearing from their drivers. We'll be contacting students by the end of next week as well, or closer to the start of school if some of those out-of-district schools start after Labor Day. But those are generally done at with the contractors that service those students on our out-of-district transportation contracts. We've been working with our schools too on some new pickup and drop-off procedures, refining those, trying to make those as efficient as we can. So families might see a few changes as we open up the school year this year, so be on the lookout for those coming from the schools, the school principals in the next week or so. As far as summer maintenance goes, schools are finishing up the final touches on most of the schools. Center School is still housing our summer Alphabest program, so they still have some major areas to clean up, but most of our schools are basically done with their main cleanup for the summer. Floors stripped, a lot of painting projects done, a lot of good maintenance done over the summer with all of our programming condensed here at the Center and Ryan schools for this summer. So freed up a lot of maintenance opportunities at our other buildings. We've done a lot of inspections at the end of this summer, inspections of gyms, boilers, elevators, routine things like that. All have gone off as expected, and we'll be ready for students in a couple of weeks. A couple of the projects that we've done, upgrades to our technology network and wireless access points that we did through the E-rate, funded partially through the E-rate program, is pretty much complete. We weren't sure if that was going to go into next summer as well or be completed this summer, but things have gone pretty well from a completion standpoint, so looks like that's going to be wrapped up in 1 year rather than having to extend it into a second year. And our maintenance group is starting to move into their new home, which will be shared with the DPW on Whipple Road. That move, no real timetable on that. They're leaving the old fire station, and there's no plan for what's going to happen with that building, so they're kind of taking their time moving when they get the chance and kind of doing it at their own pace. So they're getting over there when they can. And that's pretty much where we're at for the end of the summer.
Thank you. Any questions?
No?
My only question, with the DPW, all the equipment now is at the old fire station?
Most of it is, yes.
And so that all that will now 100% be at the DPW?
Yeah. The plan is to empty out everything out of the old fire station and move in to the shared DPW maintenance facility, school maintenance facility full-time.
Great, okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your work on all that with the town. Okay, all right, moving on to correspondence, informational topics. I think, looks like we did cover all three of those okay. Any questions or comments on those? No. Okay.
No.
Moving on from there, the consent agenda. Is there anything that we didn't cover that we need to? Good? Okay, yeah, right,
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
okay.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Mrs. Biagioni-Smith, a second by Mrs. Anderson. I'll take it as a roll call vote, given the substitute pay rates are included in there. So, Mr. Moncada, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson? Aye. Mrs. Biagioni-Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well for unanimous vote. And then the school committee member reports, is there anything for CPAC that would be different?
No, we haven't met over the summer. Their first meeting, business meeting of the year is Thursday, September 18th.
Okay. And Wellness Advisory,
Same thing with the
Same.
wellness advisory.
Okay. And policy, I think we're looking at dates the first week. Right?
Yeah.
I think Mr. Moncada had suggested the 2nd or 3rd, so I don't know if either of those dates work for central office, so if you want to get back to me on that. And then Tewksbury School Facility Study Committee, I know you're still in the works with the town manager on.
Big piece of the district strategic plan.
Okay, great. Okay, and so nothing there. Moving right along to policy changes, we don't have any for right now. Old business, looking at the quarter 4 final expenditure report. I guess that's back to you, Mr. Libby.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I presented I think it was about a 95% completed FY25 report at our last meeting. We had a few outstanding invoices and a few little unknowns, but this is the final product. The books are closed now on FY25. We finished the year with a $2,785 available budget balance that will be turned back to the town from our operating, salary, and capital outlay accounts. Those are the accounts we generally have control over. And that's where we stand from that perspective. This is what we'll use now to produce our end-of-year report that we provide to the state, the standardized report on our spending for year over year, along with all of our grant expenditures that we made during fiscal -- but this is the bulk of the expenditures we'll have on that report. And it's packaged up for you a few different ways, but the bottom line was that we were positive to our budget. The only thing I want to keep note of, although our special ed category finished favorable to budget, it's worth noting that we did transfer in a significant amount of money during the school year, and we also expended a significantly more in circuit breaker than we had planned to. Those expenses did increase quite significantly during the year, and were covered with some other means. So I don't want it to look like that cost center carried a positive balance. That wasn't without a lot of efforts on a lot of folks' part on the town side, in the special ed department, and in the business office as well.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions on the final budget, quarter 4?
No, good job. Right there. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. No, honestly, for everybody that worked on this, Mrs. Terry Regan, it was a tough end of the year, and I commend you and the entire team for, coming out in the positive for all this. It was a tough end of the year. So, Mr. Libby?
It was a roller coaster. Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. Okay. And no vote required here. So Department of Public Works, school maintenance building update. Is there anything different than what you already have updated, Mr. Libby? I know there were some photos that were included in the packet. Those are great to see. I'm excited for the guys to get in there. And some handbook updates, Mrs. Terry Regan?
Madam Chair, I think in your slide packet, you have a handout. As you are aware, in July, we reviewed all of our student handbooks with you, and traditionally you vote to approve them, and then if any changes should happen, that I inform you of those changes. If you remember, you had asked about looking at some consistency in language around, I think it's 4 key areas, and those areas were family trips, vacations during the school year, extra help, dress code, and then cell phones on the bus. So we did address that consistently in all those areas, and that language has been updated in all of the handbooks, as well as some new language in addition, some civil rights additional language. So you can see those changes in red. They have been added to the handbook. You've already voted on our ability to make these changes, and this is the information that you require.
Good. Any questions or comments?
No.
Okay. All right, no vote required.
No vote is required on that.
And then moving on for new business, UMass Boston tuition waiver. I will take that. Again, we want to thank Mrs. Karen Baker O'Brien for mentoring interns in the counseling department and supporting these collaborations with local universities, creating wonderful opportunities and partnerships for our district, our teachers, and students. In your packet, Mrs. Baker O'Brien has received a voucher from UMass Boston for recognition of her work for one graduate course. We want to thank Karen, and we'd like you to accept that so that we can offer it to one of our teachers. It's great. Any questions or comments before we?
No, that's great.
I have a question. How will it be determined who?
So we usually just put it out to all staff, and it comes to first come, first serve. I did ask my admin to look to see if there was anyone currently enrolled, matriculated into a program, because it is a full course. Currently, there's no one at UMass Boston within a matriculated graduate program, because that would have probably been offered to them first. So we will put it out to all staff.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Great.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the UMass Boston tuition waiver as presented.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Mrs. B. Joni Smith, a second by Mrs. Anderson to accept the tuition waiver granted to Mrs. Baker O'Brien to be distributed as Dr. Milligan has explained. All in favor? Roll call vote. How do you vote, Mr. Moncada?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
And Mrs. B. Joni Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Great. Thank you. And then for registration periods, 25, 26, and I'll take that one as well. In your packet, you have the proposed registered periods for the 25, 26 school year. The district continues to support semesters for kindergarten, trimesters for grades 1 through 4, and quarters for grades 5 through 12. The register periods have been adjusted for this calendar year, and this item just requires a vote of the committee. Okay. All right, any questions or comments?
Oh,
Make a motion to approve the 2025, 2026 register periods as presented.
second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's nice to get that out early. Okay.
All right, Madam Chair, I'm up next.
Yeah.
In your packet, and again, this is an informational-only item, you will see a document that you probably all remember receiving as your parents or students in our schools. We communicated orientation dates, back-to-school events to all parents through a document like this, as well as a color-coded, when should you expect to see all the important information regarding back to school. Kicking off this week, for example, the Dewing and Heathbrook student assignment letters have already gone out via snail mail. They sent them out Friday so that parents would get them during the week. Aspen class assignments in grades 2 through 8 are scheduled to be posted by the end of the week, as well as the Tewksbury Memorial High School student schedules. As you may remember, this is always done after we successfully close out and upload all of our student and educator data to DESE, which will be happening by the end of this week. So we'll repost these documents and key dates and orientation information again in this week's district newsletter as a reminder. And I believe they're all on the live calendars on the district website as well.
Can you confirm, because this is, the freshman orientation is Tuesday, August 26th, and then the summer recap, we saw it was Monday, August 25th?
Say that one more time.
That the freshman orientation is on Tuesday, the 26th, and that the summer recap is?
On this summer enrichment program recap, it says it's on Monday, August 25th.
I believe
That might be-
that might not have been updated. I believe Mrs.
Let us
Regan, yeah.
look at,
Yeah, just before it goes out. if
make
it's
sure that it's
confirmed.
correct when it goes out again, as well as on the calendar.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
Check summer.
Next. Wait,
Yep,
ready
no,
for
carry
this?
on,
All
yeah,
right.
that's great.
Is an update on our school year 2025-2026 district strategic plan. Madam Chair and members of the committee, thank you for attending our annual district strategic plan workshop earlier today, where the full district leadership team shared our upcoming school year goals, objectives, and action plans. While we're not going to redo that entire 2.5-hour presentation you just saw at the workshop, I do want to highlight for those that may be watching how we get to our school year district strategic plan. It always starts with the review of the progress of the previous year, which would be school year 24-25. We look at that district strategic plan and the evidence and benchmarks we reached. You, Madam Chair, members of the committee, have reviewed much of that data through the mid-year data, as well as the end-of-year data upload that I shared with you. We also, as a district leadership team, look at data all throughout the year, but at those two key points. What we do then is kick off a 2-day district leadership team retreat. We did that in July, early July, to begin drafting our goals based on the previous year's data. We then drafted our major goals, objectives, and action plans with benchmark evidence and timelines throughout July. The 4 integrated teams, because spoiler alert, there are 4 priority goals, and those 4 teams met throughout the rest of July to refine those action plans. We then host a 2-day retreat in August, yesterday being day 1, where we invited approximately 57 teachers and staff throughout the entire district to give us feedback and input on that drafted district strategic plan. We had over 80 people upstairs here in the Center Elementary School Library for 3 hours providing feedback on each of the goals, the objectives, and the action plans. We then further refined the draft today from 8 to 2 with that input. We shared that draft plan with you at the workshop, and our plan, with your blessing and vote tonight, to move ahead with the district strategic plan for school year 2025-26 is to refine it into a publishable mode or document to share with all of our staff on opening day, and then publish, obviously, for the community. In the fall, we will further refine school improvement plans, now aligning to our new district strategic plan, and of course, teachers will share their professional practice and student learning goals. What I've given to you, you've seen already, and while the published document isn't out yet, the document you have right there is a summary of the goals, the objectives under each goal, and as I said, the full document has those action plans with timelines and benchmark evidence. So again, with your approval, we will move forward with the 25-26 district strategic plan. And for those that may be watching, those 4 major goals under professional practice is data-driven decision-making and analysis. Under the student learning goal is improving and strengthening our instructional supports. And then under our district improvement goals is improving school facilities, as well as always looking at improving and refining the way we communicate with our entire school community.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Comment, it was obviously an impressive presentation. You all do such a great job, so.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It is a very large group effort. And a very worthwhile one. Yeah, I think you heard the comments from the district leadership team. They're really, really pleased with the way this year worked out and how they all integrated into mixed groups to do this work. You know, I think when people see the document, they're going to see, rather than every individual school having separate goals related to the district goals, the district goals, objectives, and plan is for everyone in the district, meaning it's a through line from the district plan to the school to the staff member or teacher doing their own professional practice and student learning goal that focus right in on that learner and our vision of all learners.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite slide of the whole presentation because it was just very clear on how everything fits together and how it's all centered around each individual student as their own learner. And I think the energy from the folks that we saw was really electric. And I can only imagine when you had all 80 people in a room together, bringing staff, not just teachers, but aides and nurses and SROs into the mix and making sure their voices were heard. Was a great way to kick off the year. So I'm really excited about the strategic plan of the district and for you guys to work to implement that and for us to support you however we can on that too.
Do you have, I certainly, Dr. Milligan and Dave Libby, you know, they were there as well. I think if, when we looked at the survey data last night, the day was electric. That's a great word. And the energy was so alive, and it felt great coming back to the school year with that kind of positive energy. But then when we read the survey comments, even more. I mean, that good energy just kept living, not only through the day, that night, and then this morning when
Yeah,
we
great.
shared that feedback with the district leadership team. They were very, very pleased.
That's great. Anything from you? No.
No, I want that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was actually enjoyable to see from the first time we met Cale Burke to now and see where Vision of Learner has gone with the district, and to just see where the goals have grown, they've evolved, and I think they've deepened. And to see that, I think each individual person that spoke today, bringing in their own insight, whether it be from their building, from their specialty, wherever they're coming from. It's really great to hear from the district leadership team directly. I don't think, and I say this every year, I'm pretty sure when I talk to other school committee members in other districts, this is a really unique experience, I think, that this district does, and I hope this practice continues, because I think it's very special for the school committee to have that opportunity to hear directly from those administrators and the work that they're doing in each building, and hopefully they're now bringing that, you know, the staff was there with you yesterday, which is awesome, and their voice was in the work that you shared with us today, but to know that it's now going to go back to the building, and maybe it'll have a little more of a life too, in a different way. So it's exciting.
We hope so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, from my perspective, you 100% have my support. I think I see the growth, I see the direction. I'm worried about the level of work. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I mean, you're like my student, my child coming home and saying, I signed up for all these AP classes, and I want to be like, what are you thinking? That's how I feel like, you know, but it looks heavy to me, but this is what you guys do every day. You're the professionals. So it's hard for me to look at this through a lens and understand the workload. It feels heavy. So I trust in you, and I believe in the work that you've been doing, and you have my support moving forward. Anybody else want to? Do you want a formal vote from us? you
I think it would be helpful, because where some of the planning, you know, is related to the way we spend our funds, as well as, I mean, all of our funds spent are directly related to our strategic plan. So, yeah, I think it would be helpful to go that route.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the 2025-2026 district strategic plan.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, and that's a unanimous vote as well. All right, thank you. And just to circle back to Letter D, we had non-union hourly rate adjustment. That I think we skipped over.
Thanks. Sort of something we do each year to catch up our hourly folks with the rest of our salaried employees. So they keep pace from a pay perspective. We have several categories. The noon supervisors are definitely the largest group in that, on that list, with probably about 30 or so employees. They work between an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, different number of days per week, depending on individual schedules, but they do invaluable work at our schools during lunch and recess for the younger grades at the Heathbrook doing, and here at this school, the Center School, Center Elementary. Part-time custodial is only 1 or 2 folks on a regular basis. We have 3 or 4 part-time secretaries, 2 part-time techs, and 2 inter-office mail folks that we pay daily to do their route. They're on a daily pay basis rather than hourly. But so you see the FY25 rate, then the 3.5% increase to get them to the FY26 rate. Overall impact on the budget's very minimal. We can control this level of spending by the number of hours that we use folks, and also through the use of revolving and grant accounts. So doesn't have a huge impact, if any, at all on our budget.
Okay. Questions or comments?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the non-union hourly rate adjustment as presented.
I'll second.
Okay. Question by motion by Mrs. Biagini Smith and a second by Mrs. Anderson. Roll call vote. How do you vote? Mr. Moncada?
Aye.
And Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. Biagini Smith?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye as well for a unanimous vote. Okay.
Thank you.
And so that'll take us to, and thank you, Mr. Libby. That takes us to our superintendent formative assessment. So last year, as one of our goals, we talked about looking at the superintendent review overall, and just some of the ways that we could, for ourselves, streamlining the process a little bit, and not really finding that there was digital support out there for this, which we all assumed, I had assumed there must be something. But for anybody who's innovative and maybe wants to make money, there's a need in the world for that kind of work. So that wasn't an option. So we thought we did explore some of those opportunities, but that's not out there. The superintendent is now on a 2-year cycle for review, so we utilize the mid-year review. So that's a formative assessment. So I had shared with you, Mrs. Terry Regan, our composite, or collective formative assessment review after taking all of our reviews together. And just a little bit of information for the community in case you're not aware of how the process works. The superintendent's review is to be done in public by the school committee. The assessment and review of the superintendent, it's the responsibility of the school committee. The composite of the assessment of the superintendent is also something that is a collective body, so no one person's review is more meaningful than the other. It's all 5 of us or 4 of us together. Sometimes it can be the practice of a new person on the committee may or may not weigh in because they haven't been with the superintendent for an extended amount of time. So it always works differently. So just sharing a little bit of the backstory. What we did this year, we have We reviewed Mrs. Terry Regan's goals from August 2024 that were presented in open session last year. And then this year, we were provided with a tremendous amount of goal evidence. In using the 2-year evaluation cycle through DESE, we use the evaluation report for mid-cycle formative evaluation, which is a DESE report rubric. We use that to evaluate the superintendent's practice and progress. The committee members then each evaluated the goal progress, provided formative ratings on performance in each of the 4 standards and overall, and then the committee met in open session, as we mentioned earlier, having open dialogue and exchange to look at some of the evidence of goals that have been met over last year, as well as the evidence that we were given, and then we're also meeting here tonight. So this is a really much more informal process than the summative that we've done in the past, where I can just read through this document, but I can just more summarize, I think might be a little bit easier. I'll just kind of go through it. But in assessing your progress towards your performance goals, Brenda, with professional practice, student learning, district improvement goals, the committee identified that you had met or exceeded progress towards these performance goals. On the 4 identified standards of effective administrative leadership, the committee scored you as proficient. And some of the things that we had just found collectively, that we found similar, is that you consistently prioritize students through the utilization and implementation of the district goals. Through collaboration with expanded district leadership team, you've implemented initiatives aligned with the district's strategic plan and the vision of a learner. You've demonstrated your commitment to supporting district leaders, educators, staff, and students along the journey as the vision of a learner has become active and live in the district. Your efforts and intentions are defined to enhance and clear and consistent communication to ensure message alignment, reduce redundancy across all stakeholders, and continuing this work, fostering two-way communication, incorporating feedback from students, families, and staff. Your efforts with all stakeholders in the district continues to build a shared commitment to the vision and enhancement of overall educational experience for students. The committee supports you in these efforts. We recognize that as you increase the outreach to the school community and to the Tewksbury residents, while the district continues to face ongoing budget constraints, we encourage your same transparency that you've had this year moving forward with both staff and the community. You've led the administrative team in developing a district budget aligned with the district's vision, mission, and goals that address the needs of all students. You're appreciated for seeking alternative funding sources as needed, and your proactive communication ensures that everyone understands that the district's financial reality and the strategic decisions that are being made is to support its operations. You've been highly effective in implementing a data-driven approach to decision-making across the district. By empowering district leadership team and working closely with the assistant superintendent, you've established a clear and intentional process for data. You've led the administrative team to develop a district budget aligned with the district's vision, mission, and goals, and to address the needs of all students. The committee recognizes that your effective systematic approach to implementation of data has strengthened the instructional quality, resource allocation, and student support systems, aligning with the district's long-term improvement priorities, and your efforts to strategically advance instructional supports for students resulted in measurable gains in student learning. Moving forward, we're supporting you in the work to evaluate and complete the actions identified in the Special Education Audit Plan to realize the full benefits of the audit. Brenda, you've made progress towards district priorities while identifying opportunities for growth, strengthening mental health and well-being initiatives for staff and students through partnerships, training, and early warning strategies. You have enhanced district's capacity to meet these needs. Your attention to maintaining appropriate staffing levels, developing transparent long-term plans for right-sizing schools remains essential to supporting student success. So your leadership in strengthening instructional supports, embedding data-driven practices, operationalizing a vision of a learner, and advancing literacy and improving communications has positioned the district for continued success. The evidence reflects significant gains in student opportunities, instructional quality, and community engagement with a clear focus on sustainability and equity moving forward. Your leadership in keeping the district's focus on data-driven decision-making and dedication to the success of all students is a strong foundation for future improvements. So we look forward to working with you as the district sees through your professional and district goals. So So I guess I wasn't so generalized. I felt like I had to read it. So it was hard to be general. So if anybody else has words that you'd like to share that might be specific to your own review.
Speaks for itself.
Yeah, I'll add a couple things. I don't want to reiterate all of the great things. I think we can push residents also back toward the state of the district that really was a great guide for us to see how much actually was done. I know that sometimes it's helpful to have some critique or some thing to work on, and it was really hard to find a lot of that need. I think one thing that I did think about afterwards, and it's not in here, but one thing I do see as an important goal for the district, and I did notice it in Mr. Libby's slide earlier, and I meant to mention it, is cross-training and like building that bench strength in our admin office. I think that's something that we can continue to work on to make sure that we're prepared.
That's her. She used that
Sometimes
bench.
it comes out of necessity.
So,
Ms. Caliendo is balancing, for anybody wondering why we're saying that, both the executive secretary to the superintendent and school committee, but also payroll clerk at the same time. So it's wonderful to have someone who knows both roles. Learning one with full 2 feet in the other one.
yeah. So along with that, I think the strategic plan that we saw today and the goals that we saw today is robust, as Bridget had said earlier. I think there's a lot there. I think that our review is going to be a little bit different, I would say, next year, just given the way that everything is laid out. So clearly for us to kind of provide a guide for how we'll look at these assessments, summative or formative, whichever it may be, going forward. So I'm looking forward to that new way of looking at that, and I didn't comment on it at the time, but I appreciate the format of this new approach, because it does give some goals, short-term, long-term, and it gives us an opportunity to assess you and your team on that work as it's getting done, versus just something that's more general and overarching. So I won't reiterate all this stuff. I appreciate all the hard work that's been done, and also looking forward to the upcoming year. Thank you.
Ms. Benicio, Ms. Smith.
Yes.
And I think for me, there's certainly challenges, and there's certainly things that, we've talked about that need to be fixed, worked on, repaired, in that area. One thing I appreciate about you is that I do find you very reflective. I do find that you are responsive, and I do feel that you really do care, so that when people have concerns and issues, I do believe that you want to fix things when something's not working. So I do believe that, should we have challenges, should there be issues, that you're going to face those things head on, and we're going to fix them. So so that's also in the review. So it was really great to go today, look at all these goals, see where they've come over the years, and we appreciate your work. If you have anything you'd like to share.
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is thank you for recognizing that, my number one core value, and always is students first. And I truly, sincerely, with every ounce of my mind and body, that is why I do the work. And I don't do this work alone. I say this every year. Well, I truly thank you and the whole committee for the positive evaluation, for the confidence that you've expressed in my leadership. I'm just deeply grateful for your support and recognition of the collective efforts, because you really read the data, you really see, what's gone into our district goals and how we've set out to achieve them, and then the evidence that we share. But I also have to emphasize that achieving our district goals and the significant progress we make is truly a team effort. And I know I say it every year, but I'm incredibly proud of our entire administrative team and our staff, whose dedication, expertise, and collaborative spirit really make success possible. You can't do this work alone. You can't take credit for it alone. It is a collective effort. A prior superintendent once told me that your legacy are the people you bring onto the team. And how they build upon those core values and success for students. And we have a great team. And I feel very, very proud as the CEO of our educational system here, of the team doing this work together. Their continued partnership and guidance really enables us, well, I think we are seeing the rain now, how we wondered about that, to maintain our focus on what matters most. I know, it's coming down. Our students, and certainly for providing the best possible educational experience for our students in our buildings, in our classrooms, and out in the community. So thank you for recognizing, that is a really team effort, and thank you for the praise for being the leader of the team.
Great, thank you for caring about the kids. All right, new school committee matters of interest. Is there anything anybody would like to add?
I have two things. One, has there been a change, maybe this is for Mr. Libby, in the facilities use request? I've had actually two people reach out about facilities use. So just making it more of a, I know that used to go through you, I believe.
Yeah, it is again.
It's back
Yeah,
to you?
yeah.
Okay. Just,
Yeah, we've talked about digitizing,
yeah.
so, yeah, it's something we should try to tackle. We are looking at the rental use. Probably the whole procedure will get modernized during that process.
Okay. And then in terms of, and I think we've talked about this before too, any use of the North Street School would go through the town, the select, is it the town manager or the select board? Who would approve?
It's kind of in
Limbo?
combo right now. We're still, some of our programs are still there. We're in the process of finding a home for cheering here in the schools permanently, both youth and our high school programs. So once that's done, I would say we officially turn the keys over to the town at that point.
If I could just note, I did receive a message from Town Manager John Curran last night, because we do intend on meeting next week, and that's on our list, is, how we move forward with either the use of and/or utilities and things like that at the North Street. So, you may remember in our workshop, one of the district improvement pieces of the facility is to really look at our facilities use protocols, whether it's our use or another, group's use, or a town group, or rentals. We need to look at revisiting. It's been a long time since we've looked at the form, since we've looked at the needs. This school poses other issues, when it's being used. So overall, we want to look at it. And then another answer to your question is, Athletic Director Ron Duin is also the facilities manager of the high school, so we want to make sure people are clear with where they're sending those forms.
Right. So yeah, it was some of the, like I said, two questions. One was over who to send things to, and then the cost, and if the cost of renting or asking to rent certain spots here, active schools versus the North Street, if the cost
Yeah.
remains the same across that, and where we're not in possession, I guess, of the North Street. We did formally vote on turning that over, where that goes. So maybe it's something we can look into and talk about it another time, but I did want to bring that one up.
Update you after our meeting and see if there's any further
Yeah, that would be great.
News on that.
Okay. And then the second one, possibly discuss future meetings for January to June. I know that we hadn't put those formally on the calendar, but potentially look at some hypothetical.
So I did share some dates with the administrators to see if there's some conflicts. I think if they don't have conflicts, or if they have to make any changes, Mrs. Caliendo could maybe send those out to us. Individually, we could see if they work for us, send them back to her, and then maybe we could have a list of dates for September to vote on.
That'd be great.
We could go through August, that would be great. Right.
Send it to Jim.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think I just gave them through June, but August would be great.
Yeah.
Anything else for matters of interest?
No.
No. I had 2 items. Dr. Milligan, this might be more a good question for you. And of course, Ms. Terry Regan, you'll want to weigh in maybe. Is there a good way to support families that are struggling right now with their kids and summer reading? I'm hearing from families that, you know, and their kids are decent students. They are very, you know, compliant with their schoolwork throughout the school year, but for some reason just really, really are struggling over the summer to do summer reading.
With the summer reading requirements that the district, we can definitely reconvene and get some additional information from families and from teachers to look through. Moving forward, does that continue to be our best plan?
Yeah. I mean,
And for what purpose?
like when I listen to people and they're just like, is this fight with my child worth the outcome? Are they getting the comprehension from this book? Like, it's just whatever they're telling me, I'm just hearing them, and I just feel like, let me just bring this to you, and maybe you guys can process it with, you know, the reading director and literacy director, and so something to consider.
Summer reading is meant to be enjoyable, and that is really not something we want parents and child fighting over either, so we need to recognize that. And I think the older a child gets, I'm not painting a broad brush, but we often hear that too from our older students' parents. It's one thing when the parent's reading the book to the child, you know, or big brother, sister are doing that, but when the child is, you know, I think we would be dishonest if we didn't say many of our students are doing it literally days before they
Oh,
go
yeah.
back to school. So are we getting what we need out of it?
Right.
And is the feedback, they ask a clarifying question, my understanding, we took it for the first time last year with the director of literacy, there's choice up until grade 6, and then it's a whole book read, and then it goes back into the classrooms. Is there a specific level that you've heard feedback from, or is it just generic from
This particular
across the different
family,
buildings?
I did talk to a couple different families. One was, you know, definitely at that 7th, 8th grade level with the assigned book, but last year had really a better experience because that book had a better, you know, had more interest, right?
Okay.
But they've also had lots of issues at the 5th, 6th grade level, where it's just been an issue for them at this particular group. And then in asking other people, how's your experience going? You know, I'm just getting a lot of people saying the general consensus is it really, what does the district think the true value is in this one book being read over the summer? And is there an alternative that could be met, journaling, something different? Or, you know, like when we talked about homework, the spirit of homework, I guess I think about it in the same way. And so, you know, it's really more for you to let us know kind of more what you think, but.
Yeah, and I'll echo that too, because I did get the same feedback, and even prior to your joining the team here, former assistant superintendent, I did bring up the same thought process behind that one book for all. I understand the rationale and the reasoning behind it, but I also had some parents that at that time, and it was a 5th and 6th did it, and 7th and 8th had the one book, and there was quite a bit of feedback from, I had several at that time. So I would echo that same mentality about the one book method. And if it is going to continue, possibly an orientation, open house, whatever the time frame is that's shared with parents so that they can ask their questions, may be helpful. Maybe. But I like your idea too about alternative. Is there an art project? Is there journaling? Is there something that resonates with someone more than, there's so many other options out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, asking students would also be
Yeah, yeah, is there a project you'd want to do over the
Right.
summer
So
versus, yeah.
We've got a whole year ahead of us, so
Yeah.
with all those surveys that are going to go out.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I didn't know, Mr. Mankato, did you have your hand? Did you want to?
Oh, I I did, but I don't remember what it is. I mean, I have a fourth grader and a seventh grader. My fourth grader, like, doesn't really want to read. She's just not interested. My seventh grader will read, and actually, this is the first year she finished it. Like, it's been done. Like, last year, it was really, like, up to the last minute, like you said. So what did she get out of it, other than us hassling her all summer?
Yeah.
I like the spirit of it. The spirit of it, to me, you're right. It's the spirit of it is right. I mean, don't just go home and do nothing over the summer. You know, do something. So yeah, maybe it just needs to be rethought. You know, I don't have a suggestion. I also like that the PACs do supply those books, right? Because the PACs supply the books for the Ryan School. So I mean, they should continue to do that, but maybe make it not mandatory. But that they are supplying a book to our students, I think is great. And obviously, we have the book, the Scholastic Fairs, and keep promoting it that way too. But anyway, I don't disagree with anything that anyone has said. I mean, I'm going through it like everybody else. So.
Yeah, and this seems to come up every single
Yeah,
Right around
every
now.
fall. Every end of summer.
And
Right.
I think we have to understand the intention is to keep kids reading.
Yeah.
Minds working.
And keep their minds working. And if we're pushing them to do something that they don't want to do, that's giving us almost the opposite effect. So I think you're right. It's time to relook at it, and maybe, because I feel like every year we talk about it at the end of the summer and we don't really do anything about it for next year. So maybe we just make sure that that's something that we look at for how we're going to implement next year.
Or you come back and say, everything's fine. You move on. But I just,
Thank you.
some obligation to bring it to you. And then also, Mr. Libby, you mentioned it, I think, in our other meeting. I don't know if it was the other meeting or this meeting, but I think thank you for the fencing at the Heathbrook.
What was that?
Thank you for the fencing at the
Oh,
Heathbrook.
yeah.
In front of the big HVAC. It's lovely.
Yeah.
That's a matter of interest for me.
Oh, good.
It was
Glad you like
really ugly to look at, wasn't it?
For those of us who live that side of town. Thank you, thank you. Other than that, I don't have much else. Next school committee meeting, September 17th, and future subcommittee advisories, we've talked about this already. You said the 19th or the 18th for CPAC? 18th?
Yeah, 18.
Wellness, you said you've got something coming up.
Yeah.
We're looking at the 2nd or the 3rd, maybe, first week in September for policy. And future agenda items, anything anybody's got?
I would like to consider, I would like to consider maybe one thing. I mentioned it earlier today, I mentioned it a little while ago, the strategic goals and plan, the strategic goals and strategic plan. There's a lot of deliverables. I would really love to touch base on that more often. It doesn't, not every month, but maybe October, maybe December to wrap up the end of the year, maybe again in February, just to keep us, I think it would be helpful for us, especially if we're going to discuss it. If we're getting it in August and then we don't talk about it again until the review cycle starts again, it's hard. So I would love to kind of keep that on our radar, and maybe, I think we talked about some of the actionable things, and really just kind of touch base on some of the ones that are coming due. Nothing that's 2 years out, but really the ones that are, I'd love to.
Yeah, I didn't mention this, but one of the things that came out of yesterday and we thought about today is even a mid-year update or opportunity for the group that came yesterday to come back and say, okay, where are we with this? And just review where, because this will be a different approach. And those folks that helped us yesterday were just so engaged that we'd love to keep them engaged if they would, or find a way without taking away from their instructional time if possible, of getting them involved and looking at where we are now. So we have some ideas on that too.
Even inviting them here for some
Exactly.
of our meetings. I would
Yeah.
love to hear direct from people what they're doing and kind of see it on their face and ask them.
Be one of our recognitions or presentation
Great,
time.
yeah. So it doesn't have to, like I said, not every, but maybe it would be nice to
Yeah.
do that periodically.
Yeah, I actually think that would, yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Or even if there's some opportunity that we could somehow see the application of some of this stuff. That would be great. Okay. Anything else for anybody? Upcoming meetings, September? And, yeah, I can't think of anything for September. And executive session would be next. So yeah, this is interesting with us having the executive session at the end. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session. This will be a non-public session to discuss the approval of executive session minutes and collective bargaining change to the TTA bargaining unit. The school committee will not reconvene in open session after the executive session adjourns.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Mrs. B. Joni Smith, a second by Mrs. Anderson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call. Mr. Moncada, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. B. Joni Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Okay, so the time for that is 6:40.